Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just being officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So we do know there's so many players on Manchester United's agenda. As you all know, we have got our first signing for this summer in Daniel James, which is very good news. Obviously our first signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer but now obviously what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to want to bring 4 or 5 more players to Manchester United. So who is going to be our next signing, to be quite honest with you, I do believe it's probably, going to be Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon, because as you all do know today, reports have been coming out saying that Manchester United are very close to signing Bruno Fernandes, and it does potentially say that Manchester United and Sporting Lisbon have come to an agreement on this, and I think we are set to pay for between 62 to 71 million pounds for his services. So potentially, a lot of reports were coming out from the Portuguese press, was it last week, that's saying that Tottenham had entered the race for Bruno Fernandes. It also said that Liverpool had entered the race for Bruno Fernandes. So basically, Tottenham have got quite a few midfielders on their agenda, because obviously, Tottenham are looking for a replacement for Christian Eriksen, of course, if he goes to Real Madrid. And obviously, Tottenham are seeing Bruno Fernandes as an alternative, to Giovanni Lo Celso, of course, because obviously I think that's Tottenham's main priority target is Giovanni Lo Celso. But obviously, reports emerged out last month saying Tottenham had put a bid in of around £53 million for him, plus add-ons included. But I think Real Betis currently turned this deal down. But Tottenham have been in talks of, getting a deal concluded for Giovanni Lo Celso. Obviously, Tottenham want to do transfer activity this summer, because obviously they haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Of course, the last player they signed was Lucas Moura back in January 2018. Obviously, Tottenham's record signing is Davinson Sanchez, who they got from Ajax a couple of years ago. Like I said, also Liverpool have expressed their interest in Bruno Fernandes. If he was to go to Liverpool, which I don't see happening now, I think he would fit, Liverpool's system really well. Obviously, they can also, offer him Champions League football. But I think Bruno Fernandes, it's looking likely he's going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon. I think he's set to have talks with Sporting Lisbon about a transfer away from them. But I think now we reportedly we are currently in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line. I think initially we had scheduled a meeting for sometime this week, to get the deal finalised. But we do know mainly it has been Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for Bruno Fernandes' services. But obviously reports came out last week saying that Manchester City adopted out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. It said City were no longer interested in him, even though reports came out a couple of weeks ago saying that City were emerged as the front runners to get the deal over the line for the player. But I like Bruno Fernandes a lot, even though recent reports have been coming out saying that Ed Woodward is hesitant over that transfer move for Bruno Fernandes. I think Ed Woodward has got reservations, about us spending big on players. From his own perspective, he doesn't think I'm going to step up to the mark. But Bruno Fernandes will do really well. I know he hasn't really played to the highest level yet, but he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons. He's done really well. He's exceeded expectation levels, and I do believe he can replicate this in the Premier League with Manchester United. And of course, it's going to take his footballing career to the next level. Of course, I think we're set to get him in a deal with around 70 or 71 million pounds. I think this is initially what Sporting Lisbon want, but he is primarily an attacking midfielder, and obviously that midfield area is one of the pivotal areas where Manchester United do need to strengthen up. And of course, if Paul Pogba does leave the club, Bruno, you could say Bruno Fernandes is the adequate replacement for him. Bruno Fernandes is going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recommend young players to Manchester United this summer. And obviously, Bruno Fernandes is young, he's only 24 years of age, and he has still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. But he came out quite a few weeks back, did Bruno Fernandes, basically saying that, he was unsure about his future and all that. He denied having any negotiations with Manchester United over the potential move to Old Trafford. But yeah, I think we are now in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line. His initial release clause is around £86 million. But obviously, we're not willing to trigger his release clause. I think he's still under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. He had a lot of experience of playing in Italy, when he was younger. The likes of San Pandora and Udinese and all that. So I do really like Bruno Fernandes. So I think it's looking very imminent. He's going to be our second signing this summer, of course. But I think he'll do really well with Manchester United. He brings them goals that we do need. He's been the revelation of Sporting Lisbon for the past couple of seasons. He has been there, and he can score goals. He can provide, and I do think he'll blend in our midfield really well. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring about 5 players to Manchester United this summer, because obviously he wants to full them areas where he thinks Manchester United are lacking, because you can see the deficiencies in the squad. We definitely need a right back. We need 2 central defenders. We need 3 new additions in that midfield, of course, if Paul Pogba goes. We also need a right winger, and we do need a striker, of course, especially if Lukaku is to leave the club. But like I said, there is a possibility chance now that Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku could remain at the football club, based on the huge transfer fees that we have currently put on them, even though Pogba wants to leave the club, and obviously Lukaku wants to leave the club. And like I did say, you know, we're getting around, you know, the spending speed is around, what, £200 odd million. Like I said, that should be enough for us to get around 5 players on the board, you know, depending on how we are with our recruitment. You know, some people said, you know, we should be sensible with our recruitment because there's a lot of players on our agenda that are available for reasonable figures. So like I said, we've got Daniel James on the board, that cost us £15 million. Add-ons obviously included in the deal, which initially, you know, rise it to £18 million. And if we get Bruno Fernandes, that's obviously going to be from between £62 to £72 million, something like that. So call that, adding that up, you could call that probably just under £100 million on 2 current players. But, you know, they are 2 decent players. But Bruno Fernandes has been on our agenda, you know, for quite some time. Obviously, you know, he has been one of our priority targets, of course. But like I said, £200 million should be enough to get 5 players on the board. I think 3 or 4 players are expected to leave Manchester United this summer. Obviously, all the players that we do want to leave, we're not going to be able to resolve this problem in one window. It's going to take a couple of windows to resolve that problem. But like I said, we've got to get our number 1 targets this summer. Like I currently said, I know it's going to be hard for us to get our number 1 targets because we're not in Champions League football for next season. Champions League football is always pivotal, you know, when you do want to get the right players to your club. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was saying towards the back end of last season, you know, he still believes we can attract players to the elite level, even though we're not in Champions League football. Because obviously, I know we've been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years. You know, we have been mismanaged in the last 5 or 6 years. You know, since Alex Ferguson retired. But obviously, you know, we're still one of the biggest clubs in the world. You know, we're the most successful team, you know, in England historically and all that. And yeah, and we've got a fantastic fan base and all that. So some players, you know, still may want to join Manchester United. And like I said, you know, we have been mismanaged in the last 5 or 6 years. But Solskjaer, you know, also wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer. So there's been quite a few British players on his current agenda. But like I said, he wants to recommend young players in, and he's got no intentions of bringing any short-term players to the club. I think another problem with Manchester United as well, you know, we have let far too many players' contracts run down. Obviously, you know, that's been another issue. But like I said, we need to get about 5 new additions to the squad. It's very, very essential. But yeah, so it's looking like, you know, Bruno Fernandes is going to be coming in, you know, which is very, very good news indeed. Obviously, as I've been updating you as well on a regular basis about Bissaka from Crystal Palace. Now, reportedly, you know, Manchester United are in for him. Obviously, he's one of our prime targets because obviously, you know, we have got issues defensively. Obviously, you know, that was proven last season. You know, we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season, but we definitely, you know, need a right back. And I think Bissaka, you know, would be the right solution for Manchester United. You know, he has been on our agenda, you know, for quite some time because I do believe he's got the ability, you know, to elevate Manchester United, you know, at least in the next 2 to 3 years, and all that. You know, he's only 21 years of age. Reportedly so far, I think Manchester United have had a couple of bids turned down for him. I think it did report yesterday saying that we had a £40 million bid turned down for him. I think the other week we submitted around a £25 million bid for him, but obviously this figure's going to be nowhere near enough to convince Crystal Palace to offload him. I think Crystal Palace reportedly, you know, want around £60 million in him, but I think we are preparing to put another bid in for Bissaka, and I think we are willing to offer around £58 million for him. I don't think this is going to be enough to convince Crystal Palace to offload him because they've basically made it clear that they want around at least £60 million for him. But like I said, Bissaka is predominantly a right back. Like I said, you know, we need a right back because we need a replacement for Antonio Valencia. Obviously, you know, Valencia's served a decade at the club, so he's been a long-serving player here. I don't know where Valencia is going to be going, but we know he's going to be leaving the club. I think there has been talks about Valencia, you know, going to the MLS and all that. Like I said, you know, we need an upgrade to Ash Young. Obviously, you know, Ash Young has been at Manchester United 8 years now, as you all know. He's been a long-serving player at the club, but he's no longer got the ability and the minerals, you know, to fulfill that right back position. Don't get me wrong, I've admired his career at Manchester United. You know, he was really good when he was, you know, when he was a right winger, when he was younger, of course. But like I said, he's past his sell-by date now. You know, he's 33, he's nearly 34 years of age. I think it was a mistake for Manchester United, you know, giving him that new 1-year extension. Of course, that was a bad mistake indeed. Obviously, last season, Ash Young was our first choice right back. I think he's going to be also given the captaincy for next season. Is Ashley Young, but we definitely, you know, need an upgrade to win, and we need a cover up for Diego Dalot because Diego Dalot's only young. You know, we only got Diego Dalot last summer. You know, we got him for around, was it 19 or was it 20 million pounds? But he's only 20 years of age. So I do believe Bissaka, you know, would be the right solution. Like I said, 21 years of age, still got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. You know, he's only been in Crystal Palace's senior squad about 16 months. Obviously made his senior debut in February of 2018, and obviously last season became a first team regular for Crystal Palace. He has become an integral part of their team, and he's regarded as one of the best right backs in the Premier League. But Bissaka has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. I think also Tottenham have been in there for him. Also, Manchester City have been in there for Bissaka. Bissaka so far has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Initially, when he was younger, Bissaka, I think he was actually a winner, but as he was developing, he got rotated as a right back, did Bissaka, and I think he's gone on to make like 42 senior appearances for Crystal Palace. But I think Manchester United are preparing to put another bid in for him, because there were a lot of reports coming out yesterday, saying initially, we'd put a substantial bid in for Bissaka. So hopefully we can get a deal over the line for him. But there has been quite a few right backs on our current agenda. There has been a lot of talks about Thomas Meunier going on, and obviously, Manchester United and Arsenal made initial contact with PSG over the potential move for Thomas Meunier. But I think from Thomas Meunier's perspective, I think his preferred destination is Manchester United, because it got revealed that Meunier reportedly has been a Manchester United fan, since he was a child and all that. So reportedly wants to make the move to Manchester United. But looking at it from a financial point of view, Thomas Meunier is a much cheaper alternative than Bissaka. So obviously Meunier is going to substantially cost us a lot less than Bissaka. Obviously, I should believe that Bissaka, should be our top priority. But obviously, Meunier is a lot more experienced than Bissaka, because obviously, Meunier is 27. Bissaka is only 21 years of age. And I think it did initially say the other week that PSG, demanding that they want between 22 to 25 million pounds for him. So that is a reasonable figure. Of course, he is predominantly a right back. He can play in other positions as well, and he can score goals. He can provide, and I do believe he's got all the attributes to come and succeed in the Premier League. And I definitely believe he'd exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. He has been at PSG about 3 years now. I think he's made about 101 appearances. I think PSG got him from Club Brugge back in 2016, but he has only got a year left on his deal with PSG. So who comes in? Is it Bissaka or is it Thomas Meunier? Who would you prefer? I know Meunier, Bissaka, is proven in the Premier League. Obviously, Meunier has not yet, played in the Premier League, but I think Meunier is intending on coming to play in the Premier League. And like I said, Arsenal have made contact, because obviously, they've got issues defensively. It's also going to be hard for Arsenal to have a competitive summer window, because obviously, they're not in a Champions League football for next season. Obviously, like I said, they've got issues defensively. Obviously, maybe Umar is keen on reuniting with Meunier, because actually, Thomas Meunier found himself more of a regular for PSG, when Umar was there. But since Umar has left PSG, Thomas Meunier has found himself surplus to requirements. So maybe this is the main factor reason why Thomas Meunier is set to leave PSG. But don't get me wrong, a lot of what the reports were saying the other week, a lot of this could be stemming from his current agent and all that. But it just said Thomas Meunier is going to be leaving PSG. That's imminent, and he reportedly wants to make the move to Manchester United and all that. So I do really like him a lot. So what right back is going to currently come in. I do believe that Bissaka is our current top priority. But like I said, I do believe in the next couple of seasons anyway, our aspirations is going to be that top four. I've heard some people saying if we can get the right players to Manchester United this summer, they do believe we can maybe challenge for the league next season, maybe win the league next season. But that's definitely not going to currently happen, because I think we're a number of years off from mounting any kind of title challenge up. As I said, at the moment, City strides ahead of us, Liverpool strides ahead of us. So it's very imperative that we catch up with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But we do know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to bring the right players to Manchester United, who he thinks are going to fit the culture of the club, who he thinks are going to fit the history of the club, and he's also working on trying to keep his imperative players in the football club. But like I said, if we sell Paul Pogba, if we sell Romelu Lukaku, that's going to help us with our rebuilding process, and of course it will help us with our transition. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative Paul Pogba is, as you all know. But yeah, as I said, £200 million. But obviously, it's going to be a lot more than that. If we cash in for Pogba and Lukaku, that it's probably £200 million at least. For Pogba and Lukaku, that's what we'll probably receive and all that. But like I said, we've got to get the right players this summer, because obviously, we didn't spend out in January. Last summer we didn't get as number one targets. Obviously, last summer we didn't get as number one targets because obviously, when we had Mourinho, the board weren't backing the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in. Of course, like I said, another issue. We have let far too many players' contracts run down. Like I said earlier on in the video, obviously, Rashford's in the final year of his deal. I don't think Manchester United are orchestrating on selling Marcus Rashford. Obviously, we have been in talks of getting him a new contract. Recent reports have come out saying that Barcelona are interested in Marcus Rashford. I think Barcelona are seeing him as an alternative, to Griezmann or Neymar. So reportedly, if Barcelona don't sign Griezmann or Neymar, they're looking to sign Marcus Rashford. I think from Marcus Rashford's perspective, though, he's happy at Manchester United and all that, and Manchester United have no intentions of selling him. But I know he's been inconsistent in the last couple of months as Rashford and and all that. But I still believe he's a long-term solution for Manchester United. He's born and bred in Manchester. He's been a Manchester Manchester United player since the age of 7, and he has progressing up the ranks fantastically well as Marcus Rashford, and he has been in the senior squad with us since 2016. But like I said, he has been inconsistent in the last couple of months. But obviously, Rashford hasn't graduated to that level yet, and it's going to take him at least a couple of years, to emulate to that level where he currently wants to be. But he did sustain quite a few injuries last season. That obviously had a bad effect on his game. But yeah, I think Manchester United have got no intentions of selling Marcus Rashford. He's only 21 years of age, and he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. Obviously, with the news about David De Gea, of course, it's looking better imminent. He's going to be leaving. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative David De Gea is. Obviously, David De Gea has been a long servant. He's been here 8 years. He's been fantastic in his 8-year spell with Manchester United. He has been here since the Alex Ferguson era and all that. I think his likely destination is Paris Saint-Germain, because obviously what's his name? Because obviously PSG's goalkeeper is set to currently leave, so I think now PSG are set to it's Buffon, that's it, I just forgot his name now nearly. So Buffon is set to leave PSG, so I think now PSG are set to step their interest up in David De Gea, so I think that's his current likely destination. Obviously we want to cash in for De Gea this summer, because it would be a calamity letting him go on a free transfer next year. I said David De Gea for a goalkeeper at full value, he's definitely worth around £100 million, but we're not going to get £100 million for him because obviously he's in the final year of his contract. Maybe if he had 3 years at least on his contract, we'd definitely probably get around £100 million for his services. But obviously we don't want to get rid of David. We don't want to let David De Gea go on a free transfer next year. We want to cash in for him this summer. I think reportedly David De Gea said he wants around 350 grand a week. Obviously Manchester United are not willing to meet his wage demands, and I think initially PSG are willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage. So basically David De Gea wants to be one of the highest paid players at the club if he wants to stay at Manchester United, and if he wants to remain loyal to the club. But like I said, Real Madrid have been long admirers of him. Obviously Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him in 2015, but due to a fax machine, of course the deal never materialised. But obviously like I said, we have been, at least in the last year and a half, been in negotiations trying to get David De Gea a new contract, but obviously we currently haven't, and he hasn't really done much wrong in his 8-year period with Manchester United. I know he was making quite a few costly mistakes towards the back end of last season, but that was mainly to do with the contractual situation. Of course, he's won everything here domestically. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions as De Gea. But yeah, it's looking like he's going to be leaving Manchester United. I think also Juventus have been interested in him. I don't think it's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans to actually buy a goalkeeper to replace David De Gea, because I think reportedly he's willing to promote Sergio Romero as our number one goalkeeper. Like I said, I've got reservations about this, because I don't think Romero is reliable enough yet to become our number one goalkeeper. Obviously we've got Dean Henderson, but Dean Henderson's too inexperienced at the moment. He's still very, very young. I know he's been on loan with Sheffield United, but I think Manchester United need to orchestrate on loaning him out for another season, to gain him a bit more experience. But there has been quite a few goalkeepers on our agenda who could replace David De Gea. There has been talks about John Blanc going on. Reportedly he could leave Atletico Madrid, could John Blanc, he's 26 years of age, so he's actually 2 years younger than David De Gea. And I think last season it was only Liverpool's Alisson that kept as many clean sheets as Jan Blanc, so that just emphasises how much of a good goalkeeper that Jan Blanc is. Like I said, I think he's been at Atletico Madrid about 5 seasons and all that. I think initially before he was at Atletico Madrid he was at Benfica, but he is a really good shot stopper, is Jan Blanc. I think his buyout clause is at around £100 million. I think he did sign a new deal with Atletico Madrid back in April. I think he also got a pay rise on his buyout clause, so I think his buyout clause is around 100, or is it £120 million or something like that, and he's under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023. So do you think he'd be the right goalkeeper to replace David De Gea? He's not in David De Gea's calibre or level, but I still think he's one of the best goalkeepers out there. He's a good shot stopper. I've got reservations about him when it comes to saving with his feet, so I have got some reservations about that. But yeah, he's been on Manchester United's agenda. He came out about 4 or 5 weeks ago, saying that Manchester United, were willing to trigger his buyout clause. Obviously, Jordan Pickford's been mentioned in the past. He was really good in the World Cup last summer, with England. I think he's also done quite well with Everton, since he's gone there. I think I've Everton had him since 2017. I think Everton got him for around £25 million from Sunderland. Obviously, that's where initially, Jordan Pickford had began his career. I think he's under contract with Everton until 2024. But yeah, I think he's been at Everton a couple of seasons. I think he got loaned out at quite a lot of teams as well. Did Jordan Pickford, obviously, before he made the move to Everton. But yeah, I think, Jordan Pickford probably would cost you in the region of around £60 million or something like that. So yeah, there has been quite a few names mentioned, who could replace David De Gea, but I don't think it's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans to buy a goalkeeper. Obviously, as well as he have been updating you on a regular basis. As I have been updating you on a regular basis about Romelu Lukaku, of course. Now, I think I mentioned this on my previous video, did I? Well, I've been updating you about Lukaku on a regular basis because, like I said, there's a possibility chance now that Lukaku could remain at the football club, based on the huge transfer fee that we've put on him. So, reports have been emerging out today saying that reportedly Inter Milan have offered, Ivan Perisic, plus cash for Romelu Lukaku, but it does reportedly say Manchester United have rejected this, of course, because reportedly, we want around £80 million for Romelu Lukaku. This is a figure that Inter Milan are reluctant, to pay, even though Antonio Conte got appointed as Inter Milan's manager, the other week, and obviously, he's identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. And I think from Lukaku's perspective, he wants to make the move to Inter Milan without a shadow of a doubt. He wants to make the move to Inter Milan. That's his first choice preference, of course, because obviously Lukaku knows now his surplus 2 requirements at Manchester United, because Solskjaer's told him his surplus 2 requirements at Manchester United. It also came out the other week, saying that Manchester United have told Lukaku that he can leave, but we partly know we want around £80 million. So basically, we're looking to recoup the majority of the money that we did pay for him from Everton back in 2017, because initially we paid £75 million. Obviously, there were several add-ons included in the deal of around £15 million, so initially risen the deal to £90 million. He has still got 3 years left on his contract, and I think he's on about £250,000 a week. Is Romelu Lukaku at Manchester United. He has been here a couple of seasons. I think he scored like 42 goals in 96 games for Manchester United, but obviously enjoyed a difficult second season with the club, because obviously, Rashford had mainly been first choice ahead of him. He did well in his first season with Manchester United and all that. I think he scored like 27 goals in all competitions, but he didn't replicate this form in his second season. So obviously, service 2 requirements. Obviously, he's going to do him no good, staying at Manchester United, because obviously he wants to go to a club that's going to give him first team football, and obviously Manchester United can't assure him first team football, because initially he has lost his players in the team as Lukaku. But like I said, Inter Milan, I think, have got to raise around £40 million by the end of this month, to meet financial fair play regulations. So this could be the stumbling block of Lukaku making his proposed move to Inter Milan, and also the stumbling block of Lukaku making his move to Inter Milan is the fee that Manchester United are demanding. Like I said, want around £80 million for him. But it didn't actually say that everything else had been agreed. It did basically say that Inter Milan, have agreed the personal terms. It came out about this couple of weeks ago, saying that Inter Milan had agreed a 5-year deal with Lukaku worth around £7.5 million a year. I think bonus requirements involved, and also it did say Inter Milan are willing to meet his wage demands, and it even said Lukaku is willing to take a pay cut, to make his move. But obviously, they haven't come to an agreement on an initial fee. So obviously, this is another stumbling block. But maybe we think he's worth around probably from 70 to 80 million pounds, because we're looking at his age. He's 26 years of age. He's in his prime. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Lukaku. But Inter Milan are not willing to pay up to 80 million pounds for him. But don't get me wrong, his ratio's still very good in the Premier League. He's scored a lot of goals in the Premier League. His pedigree's very, very good in the Premier League, of course. But as you all know, I've got strong reservations about him. His touch concerns me. He's not really that good in the air. He hasn't really got that endless potential. He's a big game baller. Don't get me wrong, Lukaku can perform a bit better when he's getting that support up front. He can look a bit more effective and all that. But like I said, he doesn't get enough them runs in behind and all that. And I've got strong reservations about him. So I think it'll be beneficial if we get rid of him, because it'll help us with our rebuilding process, and it will help us with our transition. But potentially, yeah. So Inter Milan are willing to offload Perisic, as part of the deal to lure Lukaku away. But obviously, we know that Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. Obviously, Ivan Perisic was a long-term target, when we had Jose Mourinho. Obviously, the main factor reason why we didn't get Perisic, because obviously, we was not willing to meet the £48 million that Inter Milan were demanding. So this is the main factor reason why we didn't get Perisic. And obviously, it wouldn't fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy anywhere, because obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recommend young players in, and obviously, he's not intending on bringing in short-term players in, and obviously, Ivan Perisic would probably be a short-term player, because obviously, how old is he now? Is he 31 years of age, so potentially, he is aging up. I think Inter Milan have also offered Icardi as part of the deal, and I like Icardi a lot, and I would take Mario Icardi at Manchester United. I don't know if he'd be able to replicate the form, if he came to the Premier League, of what he's been doing in his 6 years with Inter Milan and all that, but he has done really, really well, with Inter Milan as Mario Icardi. But I think Inter Milan want to get rid of him. They've offered him as part of the deal with Lukaku, but I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring Icardi in. So yeah, there's a possibility chance that Romelu Lukaku could still remain at the football club. But initially, we have got a release list around 14 players, as you all know. Obviously, Herrera is included in that list. Also, Antonio Valencia is included in that list. But actually, Juan Mata isn't in that list. Surprisingly, I thought he was looking very imminent that Juan Mata is going to, was set to leave the club this summer. But I think there's been a change of scenery now because reportedly Manchester United have offered Juan Mata a new contract. I think it remains uncertain at the moment if Juan Mata, is willing to accept this contract offer. Juan Mata, I think, has just got under 3 weeks left on his existing deal with Manchester United. And like I said, I know initially he doesn't get in the team now and he's a squad player and all that, but I still think he's been very consistent for Manchester United. He has been here 5 years. He's made 218 appearances in all competitions and scored 45 goals for Manchester United. So he has been a great servant here. But like I said, I don't think, we'd have probably offered him a long-term contract, reflecting on his age. He's 31, he's aging up. He has lost that yard of pace. I think reports came out a couple of weeks ago saying that Newcastle were interested in Juan Mata. Also, Barcelona have been in talks of getting him on a free transfer. But if Juan Mata is to leave the club, I think from his own perspective, he would be keen on making the move to probably making a return back to Spain, because obviously he's Spanish. He grew up in Spain and all that. Began his career with Real Madrid. Also had 4 years there with Valencia. But maybe Juan Mata may make the move to Newcastle. Obviously, maybe he wants to reunite Rafael Benitez, because obviously he played under Rafael Benitez, during his time with Chelsea. I think when Juan Mata was younger, I think he did have 2.5, 3 years with Chelsea and all that. But like I said, he's been here since 2014, so he's been here since the David Moyes era, and obviously, we paid just under £40 million to him. So we have reportedly offered him a new contract. So a slight possibility chance that he could remain at the football club, Juan Mata. I think it's the players that are looking imminent to go now. I think Darmian's going to be going, because Matteo Darmian has enjoyed a very difficult time at Manchester United. Hasn't really been given the opportunity. Obviously, has been here since the Louis van Gaal era. Obviously, we paid just over £12 million for Matteo Darmian. So he's enjoyed a difficult time here. Marcus Rojo, it's looking very imminent. He's going to be going. So an estimated guess, we can get around maybe 20, 25 or £30 million for Darmian and Rojo. I think Rojo's Manchester United career has been affected, largely, with the injuries he has sustained. So he's sustained a lot of injuries since he's come at Manchester United and all that. And we know initially he isn't first choice anywhere is Marcus Rojo. So yeah, it's looking likely they're going to be leaving. Like I said with Smalling and Jones, we know they're not going to be leaving, but I said I think they should leave Smalling and Jones, because they're no longer consistent. They're too inconsistent now, Smalling and Jones. They have demonstrated with the years that they have been in, the years they have been in, that they can hold the lines and that they can play really well. But like I said, too inconsistent now. It was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving them a new long-term contract. They've been 2 long-serving players. Smalling's been here 9 years, Jones has been here 8 years, and all that. And comparing them, Smalling's a much better defender than Phil Jones. But like I said, this is why I said we need 2 central defenders, because Smalling and Jones are not good enough. I know we've got Eric Bailly, but obviously, Eric Bailly is initially lost his place in the team, and I think his Manchester United career has been badly affected. With the amount of injuries he has sustained. But also with his fallout under managers. So I think it would be beneficial if we get rid of Eric Bailly. I don't think we'll sell Eric Bailly this summer. I think we are open to selling him. I think we'd want to recoup the initial £30 million that we did pay for him from Villarreal back in 2016. So yeah, we need 2 central defenders without a shadow of a doubt. But there is so many central defenders on our current agenda, as you all know. Obviously, our priority one is obviously Matthijs de Ligt from Ajax. So recent reports have come out about Matthijs de Ligt. Actually, I'm going to give you some additional information on it. It does say PSG have stepped their interest up in Matthijs de Ligt, and some reports are speculating, saying that PSG are closing in on a move for Matthijs de Ligt. I also read a report earlier on saying that Barcelona are set to reopen talks with Matthijs de Ligt's agent Raiola, of course. I do believe it's probably his likely destinations are either Barcelona or PSG. Matthijs de Ligt. Obviously, he's not yet made a decision on his future. I don't know when he's going to make a decision on his future, to quite honest with you. Is it a couple of weeks he's going to be making a decision on his future? But he did actually say last week, Matthijs de Ligt, he was set to inform Manchester United about a decision on his future in the coming days. So we do know it's imminent. He's going to be leaving Ajax, but it still remains uncertain at the moment where he will be applying his trade next season. I think Manchester United are kind of still in there for him, but I think we are set to miss out on Matthijs de Ligt. I think the main factor reason why we're set to miss out on him, because obviously we're not in Champions League football for next season, and I think from Matthijs de Ligt's perspective, he wants to join a club that can offer him Champions League football. Don't get me wrong, this could play a part as well. He wants, obviously, whatever club he goes to, he's obviously, going to want to be assured first team football, and definitely Manchester United, could assure him first team football, of course, and I think he would help us with our own rebuilding project, and also, yeah, he'd definitely be assured first team football at Manchester United. I think at Barcelona, he wouldn't be guaranteed first team football week in, week out, so I think first team football would be much easier for Matt Easterling at Manchester United, of course. We do know that Liverpool have been in there for him, and he's been on Liverpool's agenda for quite some time now as Matt Easterling. I think Matt Easterling's agent Raiola, from his own preference, he wants his client to make the move to Liverpool, because maybe Mania Raiola thinks that would be a good, that would be the right solution for his current client Matt Easterling. Whether Matt Easterling wants to go to Liverpool or not, I do not know. Obviously, the main factor reason why Liverpool are in for him, because obviously, Matt Easterling and Matt Easterling and Van Dijk, know each other really, really well. They're both playing the Netherlands national team. They are obviously, both Dutch and all that, so they get on really, really well. So I think Liverpool are planning to put Matt Easterling alongside Virgil van Dijk in their back line. Liverpool have got a chance of getting him, but I don't see him going to Liverpool. I think he'll either go to Barcelona or he will go with PSG. But they are the two favourites now, with Barcelona and PSG, according to reports anyway. But we do know, at least in the last couple of months, Barcelona have been in the ascendancy and all that. And we do know the other week it came out as the updated one saying that talks are stalled between Matt Easterling and Barcelona. It was it's basically reflecting them on the financial demands. Basically, Barcelona were struggling to come to an agreement on the terms. Barcelona were not willing to meet what De Ligt was demanding, or what his agent Raiola of course was demanding. So they couldn't come to an agreement on the terms. It's some reports were speculating saying that Matt Easterling to Barcelona is a done deal and all that. Initial fee and that has been agreed, but obviously they couldn't come to an agreement on the terms. So basically, I think if we've got any chance of getting Matt Easterling, we've probably got to put an offer in, that can basically, not be refused and all that. Reports came out the other week saying that, we'd offered him a contract, worth up to around £350,000 a week. Obviously, this equates to almost £17 million a year. And obviously, if that was to actually process, that would make him the highest paid player at Manchester United. Well, second behind Sanchez. And obviously, make him the highest paid teenager in world football and all that. But I don't see Manchester United getting him now. I know also Juventus have been in there for him. Bayern Munich have been in there for him. I think initially now Bayern Munich have opted him out of the race. But in terms of the transfer fees, he's going to cost you from between £70 to £75 million. He's Matt Easterling, because that's what initially he's rated at. But we do know already Barcelona have got a deal over the line for his current teammate Frankie de Jong. Obviously, Barcelona got him for around £65 million. So maybe Matt Easterling, wants to currently reunite with his teammate. But obviously, he's going to be leaving Ajax, but it remains uncertain where he will be playing his trade next season. But obviously, when he leaves, he's going to take his footballing career to the next level. Like I said, he's so far spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. He made his senior debut at just the age of 17, got named captain at the age of 18, and he has become an integral part of Ajax's squad. And obviously, last year won the Golden Boy Award. So yeah, we definitely need a couple of central defenders. I was very impressed with Lindelof last season for Manchester United. I think he really stepped up to the plate. His distribution were good. He was showing that ability he can play out from the back. His passing that were good. Very, very good last season with Lindelof. So we need someone that can blend in alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. And I do believe Matt Easterling, would be the right solution. He's only 19 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But to be quite honest with you, I think he'll probably make the move to either Barcelona or PSG, of course. So that's according to his reports. So I think he's set to make a choice, between Barcelona and PSG. Is Matt Easterling, but he has obviously been one of our priority targets. Obviously, as I've been updating you as well on a regular basis about Yuri Tillemans from Leicester, there has been a lot of talks about him, going on in the last couple of days. It reportedly says, Manchester United are in for him and would see him as a target if Paul Pogba was to leave the club. Also Tottenham have inquired about Yuri Tillemans' services, and I think Leicester are keen on getting Yuri Tillemans on a permanent deal now, because as you all know, he has been on loan with Leicester for about 5 or 6 months as Yuri Tillemans, so he's had about 5 or 6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League, and he's exceeded expectation levels, really, really well. Yuri Tillemans was pivotal in Leicester's transformation under Brendan Rodgers, so now Leicester want to get him on a permanent deal. I think Leicester have been in talks with Monaco about this. I think also Arsenal have inquired about his service. I think it came out the other week saying that Manchester City had inquired about his services. He's only 22 years of age. I think he's primarily a central midfielder, is Yuri Tillemans. But yeah, Manchester United are interested in him. Initially, he's a Monaco player. I think from Yuri Tillemans' perspective, he's expected to return to Monaco. Obviously, Monaco paid £21 million for him from Anderlecht, because that's where initially, Yuri Tillemans had began his career at Anderlecht and all that. But yeah, like I said, I think he's reportedly rated at around £40 million. So that's a reasonable figure. He's under contract with Monaco until 2022. So there has been a lot of talks going on about Yuri Tillemans in the media. Obviously, as well, there's obviously been talks about James Maddison going on from Leicester, as I've been updating you about him on a regular basis. But I think James Maddison is set to remain loyal to Leicester at least for another season. I don't think he'll obviously be intending on spending the rest of his playing career with Leicester, because obviously at some point he'll want to take his footballing career to the next level. But I think recent reports have said that James Maddison, wants to stay with Leicester, even though it was coming out, was it last week and all that, saying that Manchester United would in for him. We emerged him as a priority target. He did say Manchester United, were in talks. Manchester United were in talks, with James Maddison and his potential representatives over the possible move to Old Trafford this summer. It did initially say Leicester wanted around £60 million from him. Obviously, Manchester United haven't put any formal bidding for him, but I think we would be happy, to pay around £60 million, for James Maddison's services, because I like James Maddison a lot. Obviously, he's had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Obviously, last season, scored 14 goals, was involved, he was involved in 14 goals. He scored 7 goals, provided 7 assists, and obviously, last season created more chances than any other player did. James Maddison, he's British, so that will be perfect for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and plus he's only 22 years of age, and he is an attacking midfielder. Leicester got him last summer from Norwich for around £20 million. Obviously, he signed a 5-year deal with Leicester, so he's under contract with them until 2023, of course. So I think the likes of City have been in for him, Liverpool have been in for him, Tottenham have been in for him, but obviously, they've been tracking him, since he was a teenager at Coventry, because he initially began his career with Coventry. Obviously, risen up the ranks and that with Coventry. And he grew up in Coventry, like I said. I think he also had a loan spell with Coventry. I think he also had a loan spell in Scotland with Aberdeen. But yeah, I like James Maddison a lot of what I've seen of him in that. And I think he would fit the Manchester United agenda really, really well. He'd been as them goals that we need from that midfield. But I think it did say James Maddison has got reservations about joining Manchester United, because obviously we're not in a Champions League football for next season. So, you could actually, see James Maddison as a possible replacement for Pogba, but I think, James Maddison wants to stay with Leicester, at least for another season. Obviously, as I've been giving you an update on a regular basis, obviously, about Gareth Bale from Real Madrid, as I've been updating you on, it did initially say Manchester United are inquiring about, getting Gareth Bale on loan, and it does reportedly say we are willing to pay his wages off. I think his wages are around $480,000 a week, and we are willing to pay them off, to secure an audacious loan deal for Gareth Bale. Reportedly, I think, we are keen on getting him on a long season loan, but I think there's an option, to extend it by a further year, so potentially it is 2 seasons, of course. Obviously, Manchester United are willing to pay a loan fee as well, but obviously this could be, beneficial for Real Madrid, because Real Madrid, can kill £50 million. Real Madrid, can kill £50 million off their wage bill in the next couple of seasons, of course, if this does currently process. But whether Real Madrid, would be willing to let him go out on loan, I do not know. But I think they probably would anyway, because obviously, Real Madrid want to get rid of him. Obviously, from Real Madrid's perspective, they want to get rid of him permanently, but Real Madrid are going to find it difficult to get rid of Gareth Bale permanently, based on his substantial wages and all that. And it did initially say that Real Madrid want around £75 million for him, and obviously, Manchester United are reluctant to me that. Also, Tottenham are reluctant to me that. So basically, Real Madrid are looking to recoup the majority of the money that they did pay for him from Tottenham back in 2013, because Real Madrid paid around £85 million for Gareth Bale from Tottenham back in 2013. But they're going to find it difficult, to get rid of him permanently. But like I said, Manchester United are not intending on getting Gareth Bale permanently, so this is why we've inquired about getting him on loan. We don't want to get Gareth Bale permanently, because obviously, he's aging up. He's nearly 30 years of age. I think he's 30 next month. Plus, he's injury prone as well. Very injury prone is Gareth Bale, and he has been very inconsistent in his last couple of seasons with Real Madrid, like I said. And obviously, Zinedine Zidane has confirmed that Gareth Bale has no future at Real Madrid, and he's also confirmed, he's also confirmed that Gareth Bale is no longer part of his plans with Real Madrid. But to say that Gareth Bale is injury prone, his ratio still very, very good. Obviously, he scored 102 goals in 231 games for Real Madrid, and obviously, I think he's provided them about 64 assists. So his stats are still very, very impressive. But obviously, it was Bale's job last season to step up to the plate, because obviously, you know, Real Madrid last summer lost Cristiano Ronaldo after nearly serving a decade at Real Madrid. Obviously, they lost him. Obviously, they sold him to Juventus and all that. So obviously, Real Madrid didn't get a replacement for him last summer. But obviously, it was Bale's job last season to step up to the plate. But you know, Gareth Bale didn't do this. But he has still got 3 years left on his contract term as Gareth Bale. Like I said, he was good when he was younger. He had 6 good years with Tottenham. You know, the Gareth Bale, and who knows, he could come to the Premier League, you know, and tear the Premier League apart. You know, you just never know. But I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. You know, either way, I know he's relentlessly, you know, being linked to a move to Old Trafford since like 2013, and of course the rumours have continued to persist there since then. So reportedly, we're inquired about getting him on loan. As we all know, Zinedine Zidane anyway has got a lot of players on his agenda this summer. Obviously, you know, he wants to rebuild. Obviously, he's got 2 players on the board so far. Obviously, you know, he's got Luka Jovic from Frankfurt, and he's also got a deal over the line for Chelsea's Eden Hazard. So now Real Madrid will be focusing on getting a deal over the line for Paul Pogba. But it did initially say a couple of days ago that reportedly Real Madrid are willing to offer Gareth Bale in a transfer offer for Paul Pogba. And possibly Gareth Bale could be still part of the deal with Paul Pogba and all that. So that's still a possibility, a chance, because we know that Real Madrid are not keen on getting Paul Pogba on a straight cash payment, because obviously, you know, we're demanding that one around £150 million for Paul Pogba, and obviously, you know, Real Madrid are reluctant to meet £150 million. So I think, you know, they're orchestrating something out. A lot of reports were emerging out last week, you know, saying that Juventus were interested in re-signing Paul Pogba. Maybe it would be open to making the return back to Juventus. I think, obviously, without a shadow of a doubt, Juventus, you know, would have to offload a couple of their essential players if they had any chance of getting Paul Pogba, because I don't think Juventus, you know, would be able to afford a straight cash payment for Paul Pogba. But he did have 4 good years in Turin, like I said. You know, he exceeded expectation levels. He won 4 Serie A's. Also, you know, won 2 Coppa Italians and all that, and did really well. But obviously, you know, he hasn't replicated this form, you know, since he came back to Manchester United. Obviously, you know, we paid £89 million for him. Obviously, our most expensive sign. Obviously, we've spent big on players. You know, we've got a history of spending big on players. And like I said, it doesn't always, you know, guarantee you success. It doesn't always get you in that commanding position, of course, where you do currently want to be. And, you know, like I said, you know, you can get the best players in the world, you know, if they're not playing as a unit and they're not playing as a team, of course. It's obviously, you know, not going to get you in that position, of course, where you do currently want to be. So, like I said, yeah, we paid £89 million for him. It came out last week, you know, saying that Juventus were in initial talks with Manchester United. You know, Juventus have not put like any kind of formal bidding yet for Paul Pogba, and it also says, you know, Juventus have been in negotiations with his agent Raiola, but he was subject to a lot of transfer speculation last year with Paul Pogba, you know, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. But I think, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's doing everything he can, you know, to try and convince him to stay here. It came out the other week saying that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba the captaincy in a bid to convince him to remain at the football club. But yeah, recent reports have said anyway that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Paul Pogba's relationship is slowly fading. But yeah, maybe a couple of main factors why Paul Pogba wants to leave, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players, maybe he wants to be in Champions League football, maybe he wants to be competing and winning trophies, and of course he's not experiencing this at Manchester United, so maybe Paul Pogba wants to rejuvenate his current career. So yeah. So I think if he does leave, he's definitely going to make the move to Real Madrid. I don't think he'll go back to Juventus, because I think his first choice preference, of course, is Real Madrid. Because obviously, you know, Paul Pogba was saying a while back, you know, at some point in his career, he wants to play with Real Madrid, of course. And obviously, Zinedine Zidane has instructed his Real Madrid board, you know, to obviously prioritise the transfer of Paul Pogba. It initially said the other week that everything had been agreed apart from the fee. It said obviously they agreed a massive pay cut and all that in his current wages a year. He did basically say from quite a lot of Spanish outlets that, you know, Real Madrid. Paul Pogba to Real Madrid is practically a done deal and all that, but obviously, you know, they have not come to an agreement on the initial fee. Obviously, as I've been updating you as well on a regular basis about Joe Felix from Benfica. Of course, obviously it is Manchester United and Manchester City that are battling out for him, and I like Joe Felix or not, you know, he's only 19 years of age. I hope he can come to Manchester United. I still think he's unsure about his future at the moment, but I think Benfica themselves have confirmed that they've said he could leave Benfica this summer. I think it's been blatantly made clear that Manchester United and Manchester City, you know, will have to trigger his buyout clause if Benfica, of course, are willing to sell him. And obviously, his buyout clause is around, £105 million. But I think Man United and Manchester City are willing to trigger his buyout clause, but it was fantastic last season. It was his debut season in the senior squad with Benfica, because last season was only his first season in the senior squad with Benfica. Obviously, has not yet made his debut with Portugal. You know, he's only 19 years of age, and he's versatile as well. That's also very beneficial. You know, he's primarily primarily an attacking midfielder, can also play as a winner, can also play as a secondary striker. So I do really like him a lot. So very versatile. And I do believe he's got all the attributes, to come and succeed in the Premier League. And I do believe he can emulate into one of the best players in the world. And like I said, he's been on Manchester United's agenda for quite some time. I think we've been scouting the player, since like January, of course. But yeah, I love Joe Felix a lot. I think quite a few teams have inquired about his services. City have been in there, Real Madrid, of course, have been in there, before for him. But I do really like Joe Felix. I wouldn't mind us, spending over £100 million on him because he's 19. He's got a hell of a lot of development in him, and I do believe he would be a great improvement to our squad. Joe Felix, if he was to come in, he's got goals in him, he's got assists in him, and obviously, we need someone that can come in and score goals for us because obviously last season that was a problem. Wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal. Wasn't scoring enough goals. And that was the problem last season, as you all know. Obviously, as well as I think I updated you on yesterday about Nicolas Pepe from Lille. Obviously, quite a few teams have been in for Nicolas Pepe, and I like Nicolas Pepe a lot. He's obviously very imminent that he's going to be leaving Lille. Obviously, this admission had been made a couple of weeks ago that he's set to leave Lille because obviously the Lille chairman had confirmed this, but it still remains uncertain where Nicolas Pepe will be applying his trade next season. But quite a few teams have been there for him. He's been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. I think we're in for him. Also, Liverpool are in for him. I think Bayern Munich have been in for him. But Bayern Munich are looking to get quite a few young players in their squad, as you all know, because Bayern Munich have got a host of aging up players. Obviously, they want now a replacement for Arjen Robben. They also want a replacement for Frank Ribery. So they have got Nicolas Pepe on their agenda. I think reports came out a couple of days ago saying that Nicolas Pepe's preference was allegedly, Bayern Munich, of course. But now recent reports have actually come out saying that Liverpool could be in the ascendancy, so Liverpool have set their interest up in Nicolas Pepe. It does reportedly say this is coming from Duncan Castles, who's a journalist. He said Liverpool have made contact, with Lille. I think Liverpool have also been in negotiations with a player, and I think also Liverpool have been in negotiations with Nicolas Pepe's agent over getting a deal finalised and all that. I think initially Nicolas Pepe is rated at around £70 million, so this is what they are currently demanding. So I think it initially said that Liverpool had put a bid in for him of around £70 million, but I love Nicolas Pepe, and I want him to come to Manchester United because he's the type of player that we do need. Obviously, he's the obvious candidate for the right win, and obviously, we need the right win, and obviously, Nicolas Pepe is primarily a winner. He was the revelation for Lille last season, scored 22 goals, provided 11 assists, and obviously, he's been at Lille a couple of seasons, only had 24 years of age. Obviously, has still got a lot of years ahead of him, and so far, he has spent the entirety of his career in France. Obviously, he's been at Lille a couple of seasons. Lille got him from Angus in 2017, and I think he's under contract now with Lille until 2022. He's Nicolas Pepe, so I do really like him a lot. But recent reports have said that Liverpool could be in the ascendancy. But yeah, that's mainly everything to update you today. So obviously we know our first signing on the board is Daniel James. So I think probably our next two signings could be Bruno Fernandes and Bissaka from Crystal Palace. I think if we're willing to pay £60 million for Bissaka, we can get a deal over the line for him. I think Bruno Fernandes is looking very realistic now. He's coming in, which is very good news indeed. Which is very good news indeed. But like I said, going on into next season, I think our expectation levels are probably to finish in the top four, maybe in the Europa League, maybe a winner of the Carabao Cup. It's not going to be to win the league next season, our expectations. No, we haven't won any silverware since 2017. Obviously, that was the Europa League. Obviously, we won 2 trophies under Jose Mourinho, and that was in Jose Mourinho's first season. Obviously, we won the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal, and obviously, the last time we won the Premier League, was back in 2013 in Alex Ferguson's last season. But like I said, we are still a massive club, but we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years. So we have got to get the right players this summer that can elevate Manchester United forward. I think it's going to take us a couple of years, to get us at least a couple of years, to get us back to that level, where we do currently want to be. But regardless of who our manager is, and I know it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we're never going to achieve what we did under Alex Ferguson for 20 odd years. So no one's going to follow Alex Ferguson's legacy, and that's something we've got to accept. But we are in turmoil at the moment. There's a lot of problems at the football club. It's very essential that we get a director of footballing, and that's a structural change that we do need the club. There has been quite a few names mentioned who could take that director as well at Manchester United. But it would be, like I said, it would be ideal to recommend someone who knows about the club, and of course someone who's got the experience. And so Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club, as you well know. Obviously, we've got one player on the board, as you well know, through Daniel James, so he wants to bring another 4 or 5 more players in. So let's see who we can, get in. So the second one should be Bruno Fernandes, and the third one should be Bissaka, of course. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe, as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.